Dear non-asexual people, if you were in a relationship with someone and they sat you down and said they are asexual, what would your reaction be? I've been on a date with an asexual guy. He told me 1 hour into the date. I had nothing but respect for straight up telling me. I said I want sex to be a part of a relationship. He respected my choice and we had a great date. We were friends for long after that. Wish them well, find someone who shares my interests. This actually happened to me. He was so much fun, that sex ultimately did not matter. We had 8 years together before he went on search of new adventures, but we stayed friends until his death. I still miss him. I have several asexual friends and I know how much diversity there is under that label. So I'd ask them what that looks like for them, and how they feel about our relationship as it is. What needs to change, if anything? Figure out if it makes sense to continue the relationship or maybe transition to a friendship. There are a lot of possibilities out there for open-minded people. Depends. If they're one of those asexuals who still likes sex but doesn't require it or pursue it, then I'd be a bit disappointed. But if it's of the sex-repulsed variety where there's no sex ever, I'd be inclined to pursue a relationship elsewhere because I don't want to commit to a sexless lifestyle. Edit. Apparently I started the typical discourse with my phrasing. Oof. Wow, this is weird. This actually happened to me the other day. My partner came and told me she is asexual. We talked through what that meant to her and basically she's not anti-sex. In fact, she enjoys it. She just has almost no independent interest in sex, and almost no attraction or sexual desire towards people. So, after checking that she was still happy with the way things are and she wouldn't prefer some alternative arrangement, we basically just agreed to continue as we have been throughout the relationship up to this point. Boring, I know, sorry. Edit. In fact, it made me feel more free to pursue my own kinks and desires. Since sex is now something she mostly does because she wants to make me happy, I feel less bad making it about my wants. Edit 2. Clarified a bit some people are picking up on. After 18 months of trying to compromise and making each other miserable, we ended our 9-year marriage and sold the house we had built together. She couldn't comprehend me being able to have a physical relationship extra to the marriage, because it would have to involve some feelings, and how could I do that and still love her? And I couldn't bear to put her through the ordeal of sex, or the betrayal of cheating. So, it ended our relationship. It doesn't have to be that way. I have great intimate snuggles with someone I don't have sex with, and great sex with people I care about but don't want to live with. I live alone and it works. Being happy is everything. Say what you want and what you can accommodate. Just don't give up what makes you tick because you are told you have to share your life with someone. I've been there. College boyfriend after about a year of dating told me that he thought he was asexual. We had been having sex until then, and it made me feel awful thinking that he might be not wanted to the entire time. I felt bad making him do that. It was always consensual, but I was worried he only did it because he felt he had to. Note: not all asexual people would do what this guy did, be controlling, manipulative. Some people can make a relationship without sex work, but this is what I personally did not want. I never shamed him for his lack of sexuality, but it made navigating the relationship more challenging. That relationship went on for at least another year, but ended up failing for a few reasons. I am quite sexual, so that became a compatibility issue. We did not have sex thereafter. He was kind of a controlling person, not because he is asexual. He would make me feel ashamed for getting turned on or, God forbid, masturbating. He also guilted me in staying with him despite the lack of any sexual compromise. He basically said that if I really loved him, for him we would stay together. And I did love him a lot at the time, so that is why I stayed. I know now that sex is important to me, and really it is nice to be intimate with someone and to feel wanted in that way. I felt ugly for the longest time because any time I brought up this issue, I would either be rejected, ouch, or shamed for wanting anything sexual. We were both pretty young in this relationship. If I were in a relationship like this now, after some more relationship experience, I would have tried to have a clearer discussion about my needs. In all, I hope that if anyone else finds themselves in this situation, i.e. with a partner that realizes they're asexual, that you can have a serious conversation and decide if this is enough of a compatibility issue to stop seeing each other or make a compromise to match both of your needs. Edited for clarity. This comment section is why I am always upfront when a woman comes onto me. This kinds of posts and comments are exactly what made me realize I am in the asexual spectrum, because the thought of never having sex again but still being with the woman I love is absolutely okay for me. Ask for more details. Are they sex repulsed or just disinterested? Would they be willing to watch me, or interact verbally? Do they like to still give pleasure to others, or only receive it, or are only certain kinds of touch okay? Can we kiss? Do we have to just stay above the belt? Are they okay with me masturbating and then we cuddle? Are they okay with me sleeping with someone else but then coming home to cuddle? My reaction was shock. We had been married for 14 years. Obviously something was up, and I had been trying to talk with them for years about it. We were in a dead bedroom situation for so long. After a lengthy bout of therapy, they finally told me. They were non-binary, asexual. I took a few days to research and asked several questions. And we talked a lot. Learned they considered themselves asexual for many years and didn't tell me. In the end, we separated and divorced. Hardest thing I ever had to do. It's been 4 years. I am now remarried to someone who isn't asexual, and it's night and day difference. I know people change and you learn things in life. However, the hurt is that they knew for so long and didn't discuss or admit it. Just let a problem fester. I only wish that they would have been forthcoming. It wasn't like I wasn't trying to ask and understand. It might be shallow, but intimacy in bed is something I enjoy a lot. Not being able to do that would be a big deal breaker. Even if they gave me permission to play with others, not being able to do that stuff with my partner would be sad for me. I would most likely break off the relationship, but would still probably enjoy being good friends. Smiley face. I'm pretty late to this, but this actually happened to me. My current partner told me about 34 years into our relationship that she realized she might be asexual. She told me that she'd realized since we'd been together that she'd often used sex as validation or because she thought she was supposed to. She'd been coming to the realization for a long time before she told me, and told me she was afraid of how I'd react. I'll preface my reaction by saying that we have never been monogamous, so things may have worked out differently if we were. I was not totally surprised. We tell each other everything, and I'd heard a lot about her previous partners. From what I gathered, I was her first long-term partner who wasn't abusive, pushy, or worse. I didn't feel like I'd disappointed her or turned her asexual in some way. I knew that she was telling me this because she felt comfortable that I wouldn't freak out or leave her. When we'd first started seeing each other, I'd gone through a similar experience, working up the courage to tell her I'm bi. The entire experience made us closer. That was years ago now, and we still very much love each other. We still have sex occasionally, but she's also fine if I seek it out elsewhere as long as I'm safe, always, and communicative, to a fault. Coming out to a partner is always difficult, regardless of what your sexuality is, or isn't. It's scary to think the person you love may feel differently about you afterward, but it's better than living a lie and letting it eat away at you. It would depend on if it was a new realization to them or something they had lied about. If it was a new realization, I would be supportive and loving. Sex matters less and less as I age, so I would certainly try to keep an intimate relationship while respecting their authentic self. If they had lied by not disclosing, I would be out. I'm not asexual, but I'm not a very sexual person. I can do just fine with my vibrator and my hand. On the other hand, I crave physical intimacy in the form of cuddles and closeness and the occasional prolonged make-out sesh. So yeah. That's my non-answer. I would ask them what asexual means. I do want to discuss it further with them to explore the details of it, but I am open to a non-sexual but romantic relationship. I don't really require physical intimacy or sexual activity in my romantic relationships, so I am pretty okay with this, but would like to discuss it further to see where the relationship can go. This entire thread is why I am so hesitant to even consider dating ever since I realized I am ace. I am sex repulsed, and while there's nothing wrong with me or with other people being honest about needing a partner who isn't sex repulsed, it means that there's going to be so many first dates that go nowhere. It feels like such a waste of time I can spend doing anything else. On the upside, I am happy to see how many of the top voted comments are people not shaming the asexual person. People have different needs and sexualities, and being honest about them without judging the other person at least gives me joy seeing how far attitudes have changed towards a sexuality. I'm highly asexual and had a ton of sex with a lot of different people when younger, trying to figure out why it was so hard to get any happiness out of it. It took asexuality becoming more mainstream to understand what was happening. For me, it's basically just nearly impossible to orgasm because I don't really care about the sex itself. Although I can from pure stimulation if I can properly zone out and cut my brain off and focus on that, which is too hard while trying to please someone else. So in a relationship, it just means I can have sex but last forever because I never orgasm except sometime with BJs because I can do the zone out thing. I've had trouble in relationships because some people get mad that they aren't really doing anything for me, but some don't care. This spectrum is all over the place, is the point. I suspect a lot of people are on it and don't realize it. I am not asexual, but for medical reasons I am not able to have penetrating intercourse. People don't decide who they are, and I wouldn't judge a relationship just on one thing. Oh hey, I can help. My wife and I had been dating for about 3 years before we figured out she was asexual. There were some friction points regarding sex prior because, like most allos, I thought her lack of expressed sexual desire for me was a knock on me. Pro tip: it's not. Once we realized she was ace and I got over myself, our relationship skyrocketed. Communication is key, just like any other relationship. Don't be scared to talk about your love languages. My wife, for instance, loves hobby time. Once I realized that she expressed love by spending time participating in hobbies with me, the weird BSHE doesn't loves me because she doesn't want to bang me garbage went away. 15 very happy years now with a hell of an awesome daughter. Don't let anyone tell you that aces and allos can't work. We damn sure can. Ace pride. I have never heard the term before. I am 60 and never been physical with anyone. In fact, I watch porn and it does nothing for me. I am 60 now and never even kissed a woman or man or been in a relationship. I always thought I was weird, so I stayed away from dating. This helps me to understand how I feel in a big way. Well, those replies are very depressing to read for an ace searching for love like me. I knew my chances were low because of that sole fact, but heck, didn't realize they were almost non-existent. At least it's nice to know people respect you when you disclose it early. It's sad to hear they'd never give you a chance. But if that's their reaction, it'd never work out anyway, and they wouldn't be my type either.
Thank you for watching. If you liked this video, don't forget to like it. Tomorrow we will upload a new video. Subscribe so you don't miss it. See you soon.